Hey, welcome back to another episode of Chalk Talk. Today's episode is about Netflix. It's a Netflix update. Aren't you excited? This is our third episode on Netflix.
NFLX Update. Welcome back. Thanks for coming back and thanks for joining us.
Yes. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Netflix is killing it. Netflix is slaying it. Netflix is on fire.
Netflix is the hedge.
400 closed out the week at $400.96 after hours, $401.47.
Yeah.
Up 6% from our last episode on October 2nd, and up 16% from the low since then. There was a little bit of a dip down to 344.73, and back up after earnings, way up to 410.64. But yeah, that's why I figured we'd do a Netflix update. There's some stuff going on with Netflix. A lot of news going on. The stock's doing really good right now. There's a lot of attention on it. Analysts are, excuse me. Analysts are talking a lot about Netflix, and like I said, it's getting a lot of attention. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's on the Chalk Talk stock list. So you got anything for me?
Yes, I do. I got a couple points, one article. So Netflix hikes its prices again. This was released on the 18th. Says the streaming giant said in its third quarter earnings report that its premium ad-free plan in the United States will increase by $3 per month to $22.99 starting Wednesday. So this is probably already into effect.
$22.91.
$22.99. It's
$22.99.
Yep, that's its premium ad-free plan. And then its one stream basic plan will rise to $11.99 in the United States. All other plans, including its entry level, $6.99 a month ad-supported tier, will remain at the same monthly cost. Netflix also announced price increases for some subscription tiers in the United Kingdom and France. So Netflix raising its prices. I mean, looking at what it's doing and its lack of real competition, I mean, who's going to stop them?
Yeah, I also heard too, I think I sent you the article. It was New York Times. I believe it was 9 million new subscribers in the third quarter.
Oh, yes. So let's see.
I believe it's 9 million.
The one you sent me says
there are two different numbers. There were, two different numbers.
Yeah, I have here the company reported a 9% year-over-year increase in average paid memberships, adding 8.8 million subscribers last quarter. And the one you sent me was 9 million from the third quarter reporting. That one was a little bit more recent than this article. And it says that's compared to 2.4 million in the third quarter last year overall. Netflix reported 247 million paid global subscribers in the third quarter.
How many?
247 million.
So basically almost a quarter of a billion people. So that's 132 a fraction, 132 second. Would you even say that? 1/32 of a fraction of the world.
It's a lot. That's
has a like 6% of the world has a Netflix account.
Yeah. So also Netflix attributed some of its stronger subscriber growth to its continued pass sharing crackdown, which is interesting because people were like, Netflix is going to lose money because they're cracking down on their passwords. But au contraire, Netflix said it has officially rolled out its paid sharing program in every region where the company operates. And fewer customers than they had expected canceled their memberships as a result. Rather, many customers who previously borrowed passwords from others are converting into full paying subscribers, according to Netflix. So people are like, all right, you're gonna cut me a deal to share? Cool. Now everybody's paying, you know? So I mean, we pretty much called that in their very first episode. We
Yeah.
said that was happening. We said that this was going to happen. It's just going to. I didn't really necessarily say it was going to increase in revenue. I didn't think it was going to be this monumental, but I did know it was going to increase. And
Hmm.
also, Netflix said that adoption of its advertising tier plans continue to grow, with membership up almost 70% compared to the previous quarter. The company brought in 8.54 billion in revenue last quarter, boosted by higher than expected growth of its membership base. Earnings per share for the quarter came in at $3.73. So people would rather pay a cheaper price for a little bit of ads and access to Netflix movies and offerings than not have it at all.
Hmm.
And mostly because, again, they don't really have any real competition. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they're
I feel
making
like
a lot of money.
even if Apple would be really considered its only real competition, even Apple TV subscribers have Netflix.
Yeah, of course. Netflix was the
So
OG, like the OG streaming service pretty much. It's
it's not
the
the
first one
OG, but it's
streaming service for like everyone to have it. It was like very normal. Like everyone has Netflix. Not everyone like I talk to is like, oh, well, I have a Disney Plus or an
yeah,
Amazon
it's a
Prime
household name.
account.
It's definitely a household name. I think Disney really
Oh,
tried to get people with its Star Wars franchise
and
on Disney
Marvel.
Plus. Marvel and Star
They
Wars, and they're
bought
like
the rights to
exclusive,
Marvel too.
yeah, exclusive Disney Plus access only. But word on the street is they kind of butchered all that. So I don't know, that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
They butchered.
Minus a few. They had a few good movies, but a few.
I
Um,
don't know. Oh, yes, I don't really have it up here, but remember we were talking about Netflix starting brick and mortar stores. I think that's something worth mentioning.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we can put the article up. We can find it.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I sent
Netflix
it to you.
is planning to order open. I'm like starting open brick
Open
and mortar
a
stores. My speculation is that they're trying to get rid of all those CDs that they're no longer shipping out. But you said they're also turning them into like a restaurant,
Yeah, it's gonna turn into
a
like
Blockbuster restaurant, Chunky.
multiple like different things. I said like it's gonna be like a restaurant, bar, I think. They're gonna sell like merchandise and like of like all different probably I'm assuming like movies and shows and like a whole thing.
Yeah,
But I don't think they're gonna open like a lot of them. I think they're just gonna be like open very select area locations, like maybe put them in. I don't know. This is just what I'm assuming. I'm guessing would be like the smart idea. Maybe to put them in like big touristy cities, like I said, like New York or LA.
yeah. I saw this funny thing where it was like tweets or X's or whatever from like Blockbuster and some I can't remember, Redbox or whatever. I think it was Redbox. It's like, should we tell them how this turns out? And so I'm like, that kind of model has historically not worked out, but I don't
Mhm.
think Netflix is doing it for the long term. I think this is a
It's just
temporary
something to.
thing with a few little pop-ups, not meaning like it's only going to last for a couple months, but I give it like max 5-ish years, 10-ish years,
Well,
maybe if they get some real revenue out of it.
I think
But
it's just more to get the brand name out there.
yeah, it
Netflix.
seems more like an advertising move. Yeah.
That's it. It's like putting a sign up.
Advertising move and trying to squeeze out a little bit more
It's
ROI from those movie
think
DVDs.
think about it, right? They're making a crazy amount of money. What is another way that you could bring an intangible service that we all have in our homes, but it doesn't exist? But what if we put one in Manhattan and one like in LA? And you can go there and you can sit and you can watch Netflix movies and eat food and buy Stranger Things t-shirts
Stranger Things t-shirts. Yeah.
and bring your family. or go out with your family or or on a date or with a group of friends. Oh yeah, you know,
Yeah.
it's just something to like advertise physical in the physical world, I think.
You know what
Like
else I was thinking about? Now that
you
you
can go
say
to a
that,
Netflix.
with the rollout of the success of what's the name of the show again? I'm having a brain fart. Um, the
One
pirates.
Piece.
Yes, with the rollout of One Piece, if they can successfully pull that off with other shows, maybe people will get together and go watch them in like a movie theater restaurant type setting just for fun. So maybe that could
Yeah.
pull in. If I don't know what
And
other
then
shows they're
buy
planning,
apparel.
that's true. They can buy apparel. I mean, maybe there's a whole
Believe
thing
me.
that's like, look at what AMC's doing with Taylor Swift and Beyonce, and they're selling all that merch. Netflix is like, we're
Hmm.
gonna jump in the merch game.
Yeah.
Easy little movie pop-ups.
AMC was selling like little things separately for cheap, and then they had like this one package, and it was like multiple Taylor Swift things, and it was like $260 though. But you got like six, seven things with it. Like, oh, this poster, this bag, this cup, this da 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 da. Da. I sent it
Yeah.
to you, I think.
Yeah. And then this other thing you sent me was Netflix stock surges 16% after Wall Street buys into ad-driven subscriber
Hmm.
growth. But what caught my eye, because we already mentioned that, Morgan Stanley upgraded the stock to overweight and raised its price target to 475. So Netflix is
Yeah,
not done.
the the average the average bank and overall analysts and everything in Wall Street and all the banks like Morgan Stanley,
Yeah.
the average the average overall price target it's very specific. It was $465, I think, and some change,
This
but it
one,
was
yeah.
400.
This
It's
one
been
says
upgraded to
475
465. Yeah, for Morgan Stanley
for
specifically,
Morgan
but I think
Stanley.
the
Yeah.
overall, average is 465, and then had a high. Actually, yeah, this is something I was going to get into when we talk about the stock, but I mean, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, let's go
The
for it.
high, the high estimate was 600.
That is crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and so yeah, Netflix is a really big buy too because I was actually reading this article from Seeking Alpha. I don't know who the um, author is. I don't know who wrote it, but it's Seeking Alpha, and they brought up some good points. So um, Netflix has been improving its numbers immensely over the last year or so, from burning money and losing a lot of money on people sharing their streaming services and everything.
Mhm.
But now their numbers are insane, and everything that they could have improved on from quarter two, they improved on. So before I go back into that, what I was going to talk about with the article is, yeah, the max price target from here was a 49.64%. So that's the high, that's the 600. What I'm talking about, the average is a 14.76%, which is 460. But then also in this article, it says the average on Wall Street now is 465, with the minimum of the three minimum price target of 335. So they're saying maybe you could dip, maybe you sell off it pumped, so we're at 410.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, getting into the numbers, actually, I'll talk about that article at the end, which actually kind of made me more attractive to maybe potentially investing into Netflix down the road when I have some real adult money to invest in with
Yeah.
on the side. So a lot of the things I was talking about, like they improved on, like, okay, Netflix had good numbers, but it was like, okay, maybe there was like three or four like other key factors where it's like, oh, maybe they could have done better here. They have had negative return on asset for like multiple quarters. This last quarter though, the return on asset is the first positive, I think, in like 4 or 5 quarters.
I wonder if that could
Uh
be attributed to the end of shipping out CDs. So
Yeah, maybe.
when they ended the red envelope movies,
Mhm.
maybe that's what really helped to turn things around because, a lot of
Yeah,
companies end things to
yeah,
make
because
more
they're
money.
up. Yeah, they're at plus 12%. Another one where they were down for multiple quarters. Return on equity plus 5%. Earnings per share. Crap. Last quarter, decent, plus 2.9%. This quarter, plus 20. Their net margin is up, which they've had horrible, horrible net margins. Their net margin is up from last quarter of 0.5% to 11.34%. Their debt to asset is still negative, but better than their last previous quarters with negative 11, negative 11, negative 8.3, negative 6.4. They had another negative debt to asset, but it's only 2.64%, so they're improving. They're scaling it down.
Well, yeah, I mean that also I think it contributed to their investments. They've changed
Mhm.
over to like a growth, they're becoming a growth stock again. And so they're really just investing in more growth and they're spending the cash on it. They're gonna burn a
Yeah.
lot of cash with these brick and
Well,
mortar stores.
they've been growth so for so long. I think that's why they were burning cash too for a while, and now they're actually like pulling profit because look here, net income last quarter was positive. All the quarters before that. To end 2022, they had negative 188%. To
Yeah.
start 2023, they had negative 18%. Last quarter, plus 23%. But this last quarter, I'm sorry, forgive me. This will be the technical last quarter. The most recent one, their last
Mm.
earnings report from days ago, plus 20% on their net income.
Yeah.
Their total revenue is up 7% last quarter. Their operating income is up 25%.
Oh yeah, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
15, 25, and three
Their
consecutive quarters before those two.
hmm Their
So
cash flow, which, as I always talk about, every big investor they always like, it's very important to have positive cash flow. Operating plus 250%, 7%. Investing cash flow positive through the board,
this
448%.
this is literally video game numbers. Like,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like they're doing really, really, really well. And so back to that article that I had mentioned earlier, he's talking whoever wrote this article, well, like I said, Seeking Alpha is the source, but it says free cash flow is expected to grow nearly 40.5% in the next 2 years to $7.5 billion, while earnings and revenue is expected to grow roughly 52% and 25.5% respectively. It is expected to be 6.5 billion, up from 5 billion. Um, so they're gonna have it's crazy. So one of the things that really was like, whoa, I might invest in was they're talking about multiple sources, but like I said, Seeking Alpha, a hypothetical dividend is they went with the lowest yield of 0.30% and an
mm,
annual dividend of 119. So this would come out to 0.297% a quarter, which isn't a lot. But over time, they have a chart. Where is that one?
I
I have to
wonder
go in and find it. hmm
I wonder if Netflix will ever do a stock split. Probably not in the near future. I don't see it, but
Um, maybe if they hit like 500, 600, who
the way you
knows?
said that though.
So the name of that article is called Dividends and Chill. And
Okay.
I just wanted to find one more thing. So there was a really good point, yeah, to having like this person had really good points to the potential hypothetical dividend. Okay, so with current shares outstanding, they would need a cash flow of at almost 132 million to cover the payments per quarter. Of course, we would want them to cover this substantially, so they would need at least 250 million in free cash flow. Safe to say the company is surpassing this margin impressively.
Yeah, they
and I
already
expect
tanked.
them to continue. Yeah, it's expected. So their free cash flow is expected to grow to $7.5 billion by December 2025. So in roughly 2 years, their cash flow is expected to go $7.5 billion. So I want to put this out. It has a dividend yield and it shows you like over 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that you can have a potential with over dividend yield of a return of 60%, while like what the numbers that he's going with this hypothetical dividend they're talking about. And with all that free cash flow, usually that's what companies do is they introduce a dividend. So I am really super duper duper bullish on Netflix. And if I come across some big boy money, I'm buying some Netflix and holding it for the long run because if it can get in a good number and they can definitely afford to either A or do both, do a stock buyback, which would increase the price, but they'll only do that in maybe like a really crappy market, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe if there's not a lot of buying going on with their stock, maybe they'll do like a little buyback or something like that. But I agree with um this article, dividend and chill. With In the future we could definitely see, with that much cash flow, free cash flow, you're probably gonna introduce dividends in the future.
Yeah.
And to reference what I spoke about earlier, the average price target, based on 32 Wall Street analysts offering over a 12-month price target for Netflix, for the average price target is 462.50.
Okay.
Um, and currently we're
Wait.
sitting at 496.
Okay. Can you remember off the top of your head the price from our first episode? What was it at?
From our first episode, oh gosh, it was probably low three, maybe. And then the second Netflix episode we did was 377, I think.
I can
Um,
I can solve this easily if I just look at the chart. But yeah, Netflix
yeah,
really
go to.
really
Mhm.
shocking numbers. I didn't think it would be as successful as it is. Like I knew it was gonna be good. I was like, your money is safe here, but
Mhm.
it's more like your money is thriving here. That's what that's turned into.
I think it was around $329.
I'm looking
The
around
first
April.
episode, it was the first episode was May 1st, so it would have been either the end of April slash beginning or May 1st. It was posted. So the episode was like April, like maybe 28th, 9th.
April
So I
I
think
have
it was, yeah.
it was probably around 320, 319.
So 320-ish. Yeah. And then the episode two, it was 377. It
And
hit
then
it hit I think 399, and it sold off to yep, it hit 394 and sold off. So in our second episode, it went to 377. Then it hit $394. It sold off to $344.73. That earnings, prior to the earnings and then into through earnings, it hit a high of $410.64 a few days back at the time of this recording. So roughly, I think it was like, I don't know, October 18th, maybe 19th. And then yeah, and now we're sitting at 496, $400.96.
yeah,
So yeah,
up, up,
would
up.
have roughly been up $90 a share since the first Netflix episode.
Mhm. Yeah. So short-term bullish, mid-term bearish, long-term bullish. That's Yahoo Finance.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I agree with Yahoo Finance. Honestly, I see a little bit of more bullish action. Maybe we'll hit 410, 415 on Netflix. Who knows? Maybe
Yeah.
have a little bit of more upward movement. And then, of course, it'll probably sell off. Some people will take profit who traded the stock. And then, of course, as all is what's happening right now, the market's pulling down everything. So maybe see a sell off back into the threes midterm, and then back on the way up, long term bullish.
Yeah, right
Netflix
now
is a
it's
buy for
considered
me.
overvalued. So you might see a little bit of
Yeah,
a dip, but overall,
yeah, I'd say anything, in my opinion, not financial
similar to
advice, but
MasterCard. That's similar
yeah,
to
I
MasterCard in its chart strength.
yeah, I'd say for me, um, probably anything under like 340 would be a good buy for Netflix. 330 would be beautiful.
340? 340. Mm, yes, indeed. You might be able to get in if it's hit hard enough, you might be able to get in at like
Like 325,
uh yeah, 320, 330, 3
330.
2, yeah, 300. Maybe if you're lucky around 300.
Yeah, in a really bad market, like if
Really,
something bad
really bad
happens in the
market, but
market,
hey, I I
like
I I don't have a lot of
like
faith in
another
that.
rate hike and some crazy stuff happens in the Ukraine, Russia, or the Middle East, or
But
like a
330
rate
would be
hike,
good.
market drops 10%. Oh God.
340. But hey,
Yeah, I'd say
not financial
340,
advice.
340, solid buy. Anything under 340, great buy. If you get it 300 and lower, that's a fantastic buy.
That's a miracle. That's like a I hope you have some Christmas cash to put
Yeah,
into Netflix.
$290. Yeah, like $290. I probably would just drop everything I had and buy it.
Always like just risking it for the biscuit.
Yeah, we need to do an episode on GME.
I need to look into that a little bit more, but your confidence.
GME is dropping, and I think it's gonna rip again.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Anyways,
Netflix.
that is the Netflix update.
Yes.
Short-term bullish,
Still a
midterm
hedge.
bearish,
Still a
long-term
market hedge.
bullish. Not financial advice, only financial entertainment. 340 and sub. Goodbye. Uh, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for
Oh,
tuning in.
wait.
Thanks for your
Right before we
time.
leave.
Anything else?
Yes,
Mm.
right before we leave. I didn't watch One Piece. What did you think?
Oh, One Piece. Uh, 1 to 10 scale. 8.
8? And this is from a guy who
8.
does not watch anime on the regular.
Um, season 2 is coming out, I think, summer 2020, spring or summer 2025. It's not like set in stone
One
yet, but
Piece live action at 8. Nice.
Netflix did a really good job, and yeah, they're gonna have a season 2. I mean, there's 1,000 episodes of that anime, and the anime is on Netflix, not the
Oh, it's
actual
on
anime.
Netflix now.
So the anime's there, the animated version of it, and then the live action,
Netflix really
which
knows how
is
to make a penny.
great actors, good stories, good villains, not too corny because it's like things usually based off of like comic and animation type of thing and kind of get corny sometimes. I mean, it definitely is like fantasy, of course, based off of animation. It's supposed to be like a pirate anti-hero. He's not anti-hero. It's weird. It's literally a story about a kid who wants to be the king of the pirates, but he's not like a bad, crappy pirate like how most pirates are, like stale. He actually wants to like help people. He just wants to find treasure. But anyways, no spoiler alert. Go watch One Piece. Not financial advice. Watch Netflix stock if you want to make some cake.
Make some cake.
Um, make some cake. Eat your bread. Get your bags. And
Get your bags
thanks for
and take
watching.
off. Thanks for tuning in and
All
have a
right.
great one and enjoy your any time of the day that you're in.
And stay safe
Stay safe. All
in the
right.
crazy world that we live in. Stay inside, watch Netflix. All right, bye.
Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe. Bye. Peace. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
All right.
All right, well, here we go. 1 second. Let me to
Okay.
lots of caffeine. Lots of